Okay, gang, let's go ahead and get started. It is Wednesday, 9/26/2018. This is the stockpickprofits.com live market update. So it was an interesting day in the market today, right? We'll give everybody a chance to sign on while we go through the legalities. Always read the disclaimer. Past performance is no indicator of future performance. Nothing in this show is an offer to buy or sell any security. We are not registered investment advisors. Always seek the advice of a professional. This show should be taken for entertainment purposes only, and you go ahead and read the rest. Hey, welcome, Savar. Hey, you're early today, buddy. Yeah, the workload kind of getting a little more manageable, Savar. We were kind of feeling that over at Stock Pick Profits at the company too, Savar, the last month, man. It's it's corporate tax time. It's all this stuff, man. It just kind of comes at you like a train. So glad to see you, man. Though glad to see you, Savar. I believe you're an HGA. Yeah, make sure you look at that update today. Because I know you've got some stocks and stuff that maybe we'll do some covered calls on them and stuff, but that's part of the HGA program. So if you're in the hypergrowth, Savar, go ahead and check it out. And all you guys that aren't part of hypergrowth, you want to be part of it. But anyways, that's enough with that. Let's get the show started. Here I am. All right. So, hey, gang, it was an interesting day in the market today, right? We had a kind of a slushy day all day long till that 2 o'clock announcement from the Fed. The FOMC, for you people that have been living in a cave or busy spending your time on Twitter arguing about Kavanaugh. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates today, and they also put out a pretty tame statement with it. They're not real concerned about inflation. They see big economic growth. Everything is all systems go. The worry right now is the Trump trade situation, but it looks like we've got that deal with Mexico, and they're going to release it probably about Friday. Canada is not on that deal, but they are invited to join later, which is fine. We want deals. We need deals. The Chinese situation is still kind of up in arms, I guess. Trump's been going back and forth. Monday was the start of those big tariffs. Those are 10%. Those will kick into 25% down the line if they don't get a deal. So that's getting important. We want to see something happen with that. But as far as the FOMC goes, and that's your Federal Reserve for you new traders. What happens is, when they set this policy, it should help things like banks and financial instruments and things like that. Even like, remember we had a play AINV recently. We were in a play with Bank of America and stuff, but banks did not participate. Banks, after the announcement, man, just kind of took it in the you-know-what. So that's a little concerning, right? You've got this big economic growth, you've got rising interest rates, and yet you have banks stagnating. And so is there a play in there? We're checking it out. We'll let you know. But that was the big thing on that this afternoon. And it was just a big pop, right? Even the NASDAQ was just running. Big tech was playing. Everybody was playing. And that's what we talked about in the membership, the group this morning, is that, it's the same broken record every time there's an announcement, the 2 o'clock announcement. Big pop one way or the other, then a trickle down to the opposite close. And that's all it was, right? We had a big pop up when the notice came out, when the statement came out. And then the other, about 3 o'clock, it was just a trickle down till we ended up closing red. Let's talk about the numbers real quick. Dow ended up down about 100 points. That got pretty ugly pretty quick. The S&P, same thing, about 0.25%, not much, but it's still an ugly red number. And the NASDAQ was just on fire at 2:30, and then the fire was out by 3:30. And the VIX, though, look at that VIX, though. It's still under 13. We're still not getting the volatility. So, there's still some very good trading out there. So you guys pay attention. Like we've been saying, September is your worst month of the year. October, November, December are your best quarter of the year. So September, you want to be right. You want to get everything straight. Even with us as a service, our members will tell you, after last week's options, We're not positional playing right now. We are playing opportunities. And you know, we were gonna jump on a Nike trade this morning. Oh man, that thing just started running after we made the call, so we just couldn't get in at the buy at that level. For you members, we'll re-examine that overnight and take a look at it, and we'll let you know before the market opens tomorrow what we're going to do with that. I don't think anybody was able to get in, right? It ran away so fast, but that's the way this market is. Let's talk about some trade ideas. Banks is probably your first trade idea, right? You know, are they gonna bounce out of this? There was a good big article on CNBC this morning about banks are starting to flash this death cross and stuff. So did Facebook. Facebook is technically, the chart is under pressure, real big pressure. Let's take a look at Facebook. Well, I got you. It closed up about $2 today, and it needed that. It needs to repair that chart after the last 3 or 4 weeks. It really got beat down a little bit. Might be a play in Facebook for you big players. We'll take a look at it. Facebook is always on our list. The Roku trade we were talking about with Kona yesterday. Roku kind of blew up in the morning, but Kona made a big point, a great point. We were kind of communicating during the day. And he made a great point. You know, that trade kind of got away, but it hit that peak and it started to, don't worry about it, Savar. Like I said, we'll look over it tonight and then we'll let you guys know before the market. But from Greg got a question. I love it. You know, our office is some really smart people. From Greg at the office, does the trade team see any potential for the cement industry? Greg. When I see you, Greg, I'm going to give you a high five. You know what? That's kind of curious. And Greg, you're right up my alley. I'm sure Samuel right now is somewhere laughing because this is right up my alley. The cement industry. We'll talk about this going forward. Okay, let me get some stuff organized. But I do watch the cement industry, and I do know what you're talking about. There is some potential here in the trade war. In fact, over the weekend, I was reading some information and sharing it with Jasmine and the trade team. And so let us look into that, Greg, okay? And I promise you tomorrow, I'm putting it on my notes for tomorrow's show right now. We're going to go over this, okay? All you guys that are looking for good trades, we have some really good ones, and you guys show up for tomorrow's show, okay? Greg, great question. Thank you, Greg. And Savar, yeah, don't worry about that, Savar. The thing just ran out of our price range real quick. So you know how we do it. We step back and we'll just reanalyze it. Maybe we'll get a different set. Nike had a big pullback in that last half hour with most stocks. I think it closed red. I don't keep it on this one, but I believe it closed red. So we'll just look at that again tomorrow because there's a play in there. It just moved a little bit too quick for us. See, it closed down about 8 cents. So I think we've got an opportunity. But when we were looking at that play, it was actually down about $2. So that would have been a nice play. But you know what I mean? There's other plays. But yeah, hey, Kona, welcome to the show, brother. We were just talking about Roku. You know, Roku, that's a very, very good lesson. You see, like Kona was telling us about this potential short yesterday, right? So we shared it with all you viewers. Now, this morning, Roku starts running, right? Now, you know there's a potential for short. You know there's something in the chart that Kona saw that tells him that this stock's going to go down. Well, you don't just say the hell with the trade. It's running, right? So you watch it. And Kona, I hope you don't mind me sharing this. At about 3:15, we got a message from Kona on the page, and it was it's go time. So I hope you got in at that top Kona. We were looking at it, but you know, at 15 minutes left in the day, we can't get a play out that quick. So we kind of passed on it, but we're going to look at it first thing in the morning. So all you SPP members, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. We'll have a nice big update before the market opens tomorrow, and we'll get right back on that horse and start galloping, okay? So your trade ideas, Roku short, you guys check that out. Nike long. Nike just went through this little cycle down after earnings, right? They just had great earnings, but the stock sold down about 15%. That's why we're trying to get it in this morning. ran away from us. So overnight, we'll just reanalyze and we'll find a set that we really like. We're looking at going long on Nike. We're potentially looking at finding maybe a good bank short. We want to look at the three bigs, Wells Fargo, JPM, and Bank of America, and we'll see what we come up with that. We'll let you guys know tomorrow. But we will definitely be talking China and cement tomorrow, because this, for you new traders that watch the show, will be a great lesson, okay? I got tons of stuff to, cement, how much more boring of a trade can you get, right? So nobody ever looks at this stuff. So we're going to show you how to do that, and also to hopefully give you some good trading information. Other than that 2 o'clock FOMC meeting release, not much else happening in the market. We got that big pop up to about 3 o'clock, and then we got this softness. That's your sigh of relief. That's everybody, after the announcement came out, putting their bets down and then just kind of walking away. It was a low volume half hour, especially the last 15 minutes. No reason for concern, no reason to be worried. Right now, like we said, September is your time to find your best plays, because October, November, December are your best quarter of the year. We also have earnings season rolling up, and we'll keep you filled up with that. We've already got Jasmine's already starting to put together a list of your first earnings season dates, and we'll share that with all of you tomorrow going forward, and what we think we're going to see from earnings season this year. Now, remember, this was a very, very good statement from the FOMC, from the Fed. Jerome Powell's doing a fantastic job right now. Now, they're not worried about inflation blowing up on them. And that's a good thing. We want a little inflation, but we don't want too much. We're a finicky bunch, aren't we? But so the statement said everything we wanted to hear. Now, for some reason, banks should have really took this well, but they didn't. And that's why we want to take a look at banks overnight too. So all you SPP members, like I said, we'll have a nice, real good update about 30, 45 minutes before the market, and then we'll play it from there. Okay, gang? Our trades, we're real happy with our trades. X had a great day today, even though it ended up closing down, I think, what was it, about 40 cents? Yeah, 41 cents. It was easily playing over that $30 level, and it looks like it's ready for a breakout. So another trade idea there if you guys are looking. Steel is for real, okay? My buddy Jeff will tell you that. Steel is for real. Another trade idea that we've been talking about this week is Iridium, IRDM. Our friend Jeff is into that also too. Iridium, it had a big run up yesterday, but it had a little pullback today, a little bit of softness. Pretty much across the board, everything got caught up in that last half hour. Iridium ended up down 65 cents, but it's still up a little bit from when we originally started following it. So those are your trade ideas there. And, guys, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing those. And all of you, if you want to share trade ideas, we'll talk about them. So the potential trade ideas right now are in the morning. You guys want to look at maybe a Roku short, Nike long, and then just maybe try to get some information in your research on which way banks are going to go. That's a big question right now. And if you want to be a boring investor in one of the most boring sectors on the planet, you guys tune in for tomorrow's show. We're going to go over cement in China tomorrow. Okay, Greg, fantastic question, man. I can always count on the office for coming up with this good stuff. God bless you all. So look, gang, it was a boring day up until 2 o'clock. It was a really exciting day for about 30 minutes. And then it was just everybody kind of checking out. And, I don't know how it is where you guys are, but we're in about triple-digit humidity right now. The market opens at 3 o'clock in the morning here in Hawaii. So we're in the office about 1:32 a.m. It was already, everybody was just sheens of sweat and stuff. And we do not use air conditioning at this office. We're environmentally friendly, and we don't believe in air conditioning. Anyways, so look, it just makes the electric bill go higher, right? Yeah, let's go a little tribal, no shirts and stuff. So look, gang, let's call it a show. Let me go through the question in case there's any other questions. But again, Greg, man, thanks for the question, dude. Samuel is smiling right now, I guarantee it. You guys tune in tomorrow for the cement show. We'll call it the cement show, right? And then you guys, let's kind of keep an eye on these trade ideas. from our friend Kona. Look to short ROKU at the open. From our buddy Jeff. Jeff likes Iridium, IRDM. We like to take a good look at banks. Personally, we like Nike in this spot a lot. And we'll let you guys know tomorrow afternoon whether we actually get into a play and stuff. We're still long on the Qs. We're still long XLK. We're still long Twitter. Twitter had a decent day today too. It closed over that 29. That was important. It's down about 10 cents, but it held that 29 real well. We're still long on that, and we're still long Verizon. Okay, Verizon actually had a good day for a telecom, right? It ended up about 9 cents today. It was higher even that. It was actually pushing that 53.50 level at one point. Let's see how it shakes out overnight. All right. We talked about this in the membership this morning. It's always the same. It's always the same MO when we have a FOMC Wednesday meeting. What happens is that market has that big spike either up or down after the minutes are released, and what happens is then it just kind of cycles into the close as everybody's put their bets and they kind of step away from the table for now. So it's real important how we open up tomorrow. We'll watch futures overnight. We'll see if there's any trade news. As far as the trade news goes, the latest that we know of is that there is a deal with Mexico. They're going to release it probably by Friday. Canada is not on board with this, but they've left a window open for them to jump on. The big thing is Asia. We need to get that trade deal with China. Come on, President Trump, give it to us. We're still long on steel, and we're actually real happy with our plays right now. So if you guys aren't happy with your plays, okay, go ahead and click the link. Come on and join the party, all right? And we do have a good time over at stockpickprofits.com, all right? So look, gang, you guys have a fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Good news for you football fans out there, right? There's a big announcement from Fox today, their Thursday night show. This is the first time Fox is actually going to get Thursday night football. They moved their football headquarters, to the New York studio, that brand new, hyper expensive New York studio with the 8 screens, 2 floors, all that stuff. And so because they did that, they were able to sign back on Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw, and Michael Strahan. So at least for a Thursday night football, we're not going to have to listen to Chris Spielman for an hour and a half, 2 hours, telling us how he never made those mistakes when he was a player. Oh yeah, and we're gonna close the show with that, because that is a credo to live on. Trade on players. Let's go out there and get some tomorrow. We'll be back after the market. Okay, you guys watch that open tomorrow, because it's going to tell us a lot about the at least the next 2-3 weeks of the market. Okay, so you guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow after the market. Thank you so much for joining us. If you need support, you need education, you just want somebody to lean on, click the link. All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us today.